Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakarashi Sarvada Shri Sadgurubhyo Namaha Shri Hanumate Namaha. Welcome to Nitya Satsang. Today is the 2nd of January 2025. I want to offer my prostrations to all the great sages and to Bhagavan, residing in the heart of every single being. We're continuing today, and probably maybe next day or so, on the notion of Sankhya Vichar. It is a very powerful sadhana that is quite old, actually. It is ancient, and then was revived by Sadguru Gunatidanand Swami in the Swaminarayan Sampradaya. So, to continue from yesterday on this point, that the Sankhya is a system where one is able to practice contemplation and introspection aimed at discerning the essential nature of consciousness, which is Purusha, from the mutable realm of Prakriti, which is the phenomenon. So there's two words here, if you're taking notes or keeping track of all these ideas. There's Purusha and there is Prakriti. 2 points are there. Purusha doesn't mean male or female, and Prakriti doesn't mean male or female also. Prakriti is the dynamic manifestation of consciousness, which is real in Sankhya Darshan. And Purusha is the essential nature, it is the absolute consciousness itself. So the separation of these two is the concept of Sankhya Vichar. Sankhya Vichar is using our mind, our senses, our contemplation to separate the function of Prakriti from the witnessing consciousness that is unchanging, pure, the true self that we are. Right? So to realize this, there are many, many ways to go about getting into this. The first point to understand is that there are 3 gunas of Maya. Guna meaning the functional qualities of Maya. That is Sattva Gun, Rajas Gun, and Tamas Gun, Tamo Gun. The Sattva Gun is the principle of clarity, harmony, equilibrium. The Rajas Gun is the principle of activity, passion, restlessness. The Tamas Gun is the principle of inertia, darkness, and ignorance. These are the gunas of Maya. These keep changing. Continuously they are changing. That is what is known in our senses, that is inside of us. Where are we going to discover the 3 gunas directly? Within us. When we are contemplating or trying to connect with Bhagavan, we will see the function of the 3 gunas of Maya right inside of us. We also see the 3 gunas of Maya outside of us. Right? So to see the 3 gunas of Maya inside of us as well as outside of us is part of the Sankhya Vichara sadhana. We perceive the 3 gunas and recognize that that's not me. That is an experience that is happening. Like, for example, we may be awake and then we start feeling sleepy. Then we are awake again, then we're thinking something else. These are all changes. The gunas are going on. Sometimes we're very passionate. Sometimes we don't feel like doing anything. Sometimes we're very clear and harmonious, and this keeps changing constantly. These are 3 gunas of Prakriti. So, connected to these 3 gunas of Prakriti are the 5 primary doshas, faults, that hinder spiritual progress. And those are greed, lust, sensual indulgence, attachment, and pride. These are the 5 that Gunatidanand Swami mentioned in this statement. So greed, excessive desire for material possessions. That is called greed. Lust is what? Intense craving for sensory pleasures. It's not, the sexual part is one part of it, but it's more than that. It's not just that. It's many other things also that we want over and over, higher and higher amounts. That is called kama. Greed is lobha. This is called kama. The third is sensual enjoyment, overindulgence in sensory experiences. That is rasa. Rasa means that the rasaswad, like this, the wanting different kinds of swad. And that's not just with food, it's with all other senses too. Emotional clinginess, that is called sneha. Again, emotional clinginess to people and things. Clinging, that is the ahankar is involved in clinging, as opposed to love doesn't have ahankar. We have mistaken this clinging for love, and it is not. You say, oh, I love my brother so much, or I love my dog so much, I love this person so much. We use the word love, but what do we mean? That is clinging, entangled attachment. That is not love. प्रेम में बंधन नहीं है. जहां बंधन है वहां प्रेम है ही नहीं. That's a big mistake. We think that is love. It's not. Love doesn't have any bondage. The bondage with God, we can say that, yes, with Bhagwan ke saath bandhan hota hai. In that place, in that divinity, only that place it is acceptable. But then that bondage is not bondage actually. That is liberation. But in other places, Sachin says, oh, I love this and I love this and this person and that person. And I'm just thinking about those things all the time. Clinging to people and things, objects of the world. That is called sneha, attachment. You see, so that's the fourth one. And the fifth one is ahankar, pride. Overinflated sense of self and superiority, self-worth and superiority. That is overinflation. I'm something, I'm this, I'm that. People are wanting that, right? Once they get so many other things in life, then they are looking for position, power, name, fame. Once a lot of money is there, a lot of other sensual enjoyment is there, what's left? Name, fame. 100 people, 200 people, 1,000 people should see how great I am. Make big parties, have big weddings, have this, have that. So that other people can see how great I am. Kitna agnan hai isme. Maha agnani isko kehte hain, who are doing this. Trying to show off to others or trying to reach certain positions to find happiness. Now I want to become a state senator. I want to become this. I want to become that. I want to become, the president of a company. I become all that, no doubt. Do it. But what is the intention? What is the force behind it? It is ahankar. I want to be in a position of power. Most of the politicians are, we don't want to take any names, but throughout the world. That is their motivating force. Most of them are usually quite well off. So now so that vritti opens up from inside, that I want to be something. I want to, control. I want to be in a position of being able to control lots of power. Satta, it is called in Gujarati. Maha Agnan. If that vritti is there, and if it remains like that, the person is reborn into the insect world. You want to be a powerful person? Be a queen bee or something like that. You go straight into insect world. Or some other yoni like that, where there's millions of different. You want to be a ruler? Go and rule over there. Bhagwan कहते हैं, आपको क्या चाहिए? आपको यही चाहिए, मैं आपको बना देता हूँ. See this stupidity that is there inside the mind. ये सब वस्तु छोड़नी चाहिए. We cannot let these things go. In the human body, if we do not apply Sankhya Vichar, Nitya Pralaya, as we mentioned before, all of these panchadoshas, they open up. And then a person completely wastes their life in this. It is a total waste. Now, does it mean you should not go for a position and power? Go for all that. Do it as a seva. Seva bhav se karo. Isme koi ahankar nahi aana chahiye. Then there's no binding. Otherwise, the whole sansar is running after these five things only. Greed, lust, sensual attachments, indulgences, attachments, and ahankar, pride. Kitna agnan hai isme. Isme se anand nahi milta. You can never find ananda through these five. Impossible. If people have been able to find ananda, whole humanity would have been liberated. In fact, the opposite happens. Opposite meaning it causes degradation. Once you go after a certain limit, it damages the sansar. But each of those five can be transmuted. That is what Sankhya Vichar says. Into seva. So the ahankar gets transmuted into seva. The kama vasana gets transmuted into brahmacharya. The sensual enjoyments get transmuted into the rasa of Bhagwan. Bhagwan ka ras milta hai. The emotional clinginess to people and things gets transferred to God and with love for all. You see, so this is the transmutation. But this is sadhana. It doesn't happen. You have to sit for Sankhya Vichar. Find a quiet place, sit in a comfortable posture, maybe do some pranayams, stuff like that, and then engage in some mindfulness, Bhagwan ke saath link mantro dwara, Bhagwan ke saath sambandh jodna. These are things to do to come out of this. But for who? Only somebody who wants to come out of the prison of Maya. जिसको निकलना ही नहीं, इसका क्या प्रश्न है? These things are meaningless to them. They just live and die just like that. Shankaracharya ji कहते हैं that person is committing suicide again and again and again. He's saying that. Sachin is not saying anything to anybody. I'm just transmitting what the great sages have said. Think about this point. By running after these 5 doshas, one is committing suicide again and again and again and again, lifetime, drowning inside the sansar, being born again and again, God knows where, in what situation. It was very dangerous. Sometimes people leave a big bank account to their children, right? And then what happens? They are attached to that money. Oh my God, my money, my this. Bhagwan kehte, you're chasing that? I will make you a small child or a bird or a dog in that family. Next, in the future life. Is that what you want? Ante yamatihi sagatihi. Ye Vedic siddhant. Sachin is not making these things up, pulling them out of some hypothetical space. हमारे जीवन में क्या चाहिए? It's a very difficult question. What we really want? Do we truly want moksha, mukti, Bhagwan ka dham? Or do we want to come back into the Brahmand again in one yoni after another, one womb after another, one family after another? Love the family. Love everybody in the world. But in what way? Without attachment. And attachment एक ही जगह रखनी, भगवान के चरण. भगवान ना चरणारविंद मा दृढ़ प्रीति राखवी, नारायण ना चरणारविंद मा दृढ़ प्रीति राखवी. गुजराती वेदरस. ये सारांश है जीवन का. Sachin is speaking doesn't mean Sachin has realized this. We're trying to realize. It's not a simple thing. There's a lot involved in it. Our mind, our antakarana is trapped inside these 5 because the entire sansar is running only in these 5. The 3 gunas of Maya and these panchadoshas. Whole sansar, it is just burning in these 5. That's all. Very few can awaken out of this. And if one wants to awaken out of it, Bhagwan कहते आ जाओ. बड़े बड़े संत कहते आ जाइए. Come. One who sets his mind on me, Bhagwan Krishna says in the Gita, he verily comes to me. And we set our mind on something else, we'll wind up there. Wherever we set our mind, that is where we will go. God doesn't discriminate against anybody. If Sachin says, I am so deeply attached to, the United States of America and big homes, and I want to be a very wealthy person living in Hawaii, let's say. And I want that, so I want that. And so then eventually, at some time, this life, next life, 5 lives, 10 lives, sometime all that work will be done, all that situation, circumstance, Bhagwan kehte, aapko ye chahiye, we'll make that happen also. What do you want? That's a real question. What do we want? And if you say you want to be a very super wealthy person, wo bhi milega. There's let me close with this. In the Swaminarayan Satsang, I've heard many times, he's gone now, but there used to be a Pujya Pramukh Swamiji Maharaj in the BAPS organization. He was the guru. Most people have heard of him. I have heard him say many times, many times he said, कि आ जीव तो ब्रह्मापन थयो छे तो पण मुक्ति नथी થઈ. You know what that means? That this Jivatma has become Indra, Chandra, Surya, Brahma, big gods, big amazing Ishwaras even. Still is drowning inside Maya. Because the Brahmaji also is on the border. He lives 100 lives, 100 years. then his body is gone. He's on the border, but he's a Ishvara, but then he leaves his body also. He's not immortal, according to the scriptures. So this Jivatma has reached even that stage and still is drowning in Maya. How can that be? You can reach any stage inside the Brahmand. You cannot, the goal is to go beyond the Brahmand. Brahmand se bahar nikalna, wahan divya bhumi hai. Or that access point is Sanatana Dharma, the Vedanta tradition, the Bhakti Marg, the various upasanas that we have. That is to take an airplane. It is a super jet. Bhagwan ka jo naam hai, Bhagwan ka jo swarup hai, Bhagwan ke jo bade sant hai, they will take us out of the Brahmand. Otherwise, the Jivatma will drown inside the Brahmand for God knows. It's just a massive amount of time. If you don't realize all this, this is why the great saints, they come again and again to awaken the humanity, to help the Jivatma make this transition into the higher consciousness. Otherwise, one will drown again. Because God is, Bhagavan is the witness inside the Atma. He knows everything. He knows what we want. And if we want experiences within the realm of the three gunas and Prakriti, that is what he will give us. Because we want that. There's the karmic balance, accumulated balance, that will generate the next body and next body and next body. This body was already generated through mother and father in this human form. The next body will also be generated. Next one will also be generated. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani, jatare shayanam, iya sansare, bahudastare, krupaya pare, pahi murari, bhajagovindam, 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 mudhamate. Shankaracharya ji कहते हैं, इसी शरीरम स्वरूपम सदा रोग मुक्तम यशश्चारु चित्रम धनमेरु तुल्यम गुरोरंद्रिपद्ने मनुष्येन लग्नम ततः किम ततः किम ततः किम ततः किम. ये शंकराचार्य जी के वर्सेस है. This is the fact. Whether we accept it or not, like it or not, agree with it or not, jo fact hai, wo hai hi. So on that basis, let us, just simply pray to Bhagwan to give us Sat Buddhi, to set the right destination, to live in this world with a lot of peace and happiness with everybody, but kisi ke saath bandhan nahi rakhna. Prem rakhna. Prem is not bandhan. Bandhan is ahankar. Prem is divine love. Bahut farak hai isme. We have to think about that some other time. Anyway, this is all part of Sankhya Vichar. With that, Om Dhyanamulam Gurur Murti Mantramulam Gurur Vakyam Pujamulam Gurur Padam Mokshamulam Gurur Krupa Tameva Mata Chapita Tameva Tameva Banduscha Sakha Tameva Vidya Draminam Tameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya. Om Divilingaya Namaha, Urdhvalingaya Namaha, Anandalingaya Namaha, Dwadash Jyotirlingaya Namaha. Om Trambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukam Iva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshya Mamrutat. Om Aim Rim Klim Chamundaye Viche Swaha. Om Shri Durga Arpanamastu. Om Durga Durga Rakshini Thata Swaha. Om Shri Radha Krishna Arpanamastu. Rim.